Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. It is still your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Reach out to me directly. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for pricing. The Roger Dubuis Sympathie was one of the original series for the company founded in 1995 as Sogem that became Roger Dubuis. Now, the series was discontinued after the 2008 model year, but restored for 2011, and the watch you're looking at here is from that second series of Sympathie watches. It is the Sympathie Tourbillon Marine Singapore Special Edition. So tourbillon, self-explanatory, sympathie because of the shape of the case, and marine because it features this spectacular nautically derived mother-of-pearl dial. That's what marine means in a Roger Dubuis context. And of course, Singapore Special Edition. White gold, 43 millimeters, only 28 pieces constructed. So at 43 millimeters, I have to say this wears at least true to size, maybe even a little bit bigger. 13.7 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 55.8 millimeters. This really wears like a 44 millimeter Royal Oak Offshore. So if you're happy with that, you're gonna love this. But it is a big watch, which is why I think it's too large for me. As you can see, the lugs pretty clearly project beyond the edge of my wrist, and even down the barrel, it does appear that it's wearing me more than I am wearing it. That said, it's fairly low in profile. It's not too thick, so if you've got a big wrist and a big cuff, yeah, you probably get a sleeve over this. The watch is incredibly heavy. If you believe a luxury watch should feel its price, this will not disappoint. I recommend a wrist of at least 18 centimeters circumference to wear this well. So if you're a football player or a former pro, this might be a match made in horological heaven. Taking a look at the strap, you can see that by now the Sympathie line had adopted Roger Dubuis' triple lug arrangement, which actually isn't a bad idea, as a huge span between lug ends can sometimes cause a spring bar to bend in the middle or droop or create a gap between itself and the case. So this offers more security, and you can see from the underside that this really is held on using screws and bars. So for a large, heavy, and expensive watch, screws and bars is a more secure arrangement, and there's no impediment to the range of motion. Even though the strap is close hauled against the case, it can pull straight down out of the lugs there. Taking a look at the strap, of course this is proprietary. Huge rectangular scale alligator leather with symmetrical scales. This is the most expensive cut of the animal. Glossy and black, it has a monotone stitch, and while it looks like these might be sheer sides, this is actually a very broad and sheer rolled or folded side. There's a lot of leather here, and you can see that there are several different mounting points. So you've got 3 pairs of divots inside the clasp, so you can use your strap tool to move in or out, but then you also have more tunnels drilled through the material, so you can see how there's clearance underneath the center of the buckle. You can see that the folding part actually gives you clearance internally, so you can slide this all the way in. So you've got quite a bit of adjustability. Now there's a Roger Dubuis motif that repeats inside the buckle, which is always nice to see. And we have a twin trigger system, so it cannot pop open accidentally. Once closed, this large and heavy watch has to be positively disengaged by pressing the triggers. You can see that internally, the buckle is also made of white gold, and it is Roger Dubuis branded with media, blast, and polish on its surface. The case is complex. You can see it really is held together by lateral screws. We have vertical satin, we have polish, we have recesses that within the lugs that are themselves mirror polished, even though the shoulders of the lugs are satinated. We have several steps leading up to a bezel with 2 different knurling patterns, one smooth, one cut, and then we've got a crown that includes a Roger Dubuis logo and a coaxial pusher that allows you to quick set the grande date or double-digit date up at the top of the dial. You can also see that the crown is somewhat countersunk, so that it doesn't stick out that much. It sticks out a bit, but not too much. The watch is based on the Sympathie line that came out in 1995 and featured a wonderful fluid, contoured case shape. It looked like something that had been drawn out and then flash frozen while still molten. So it has these sharp peaks at the corners, but also soft undulations between them. The dial here features the same RD motif on its center that you find inside the clasp, in case you forgot, and it announces proudly that this one was intended for the Mecca of watch collecting, Singapore. This is a 28-piece limited edition for Singapore, and you can see on the reverse side that it references Singapore once more. The dial includes this mother-of-pearl base with radially arrayed stylized Roman numerals. There's a little frame for the power reserve indicator and the date, so you can see these little parts add refinement so there isn't a sheer or ugly jagged edge between the complication and the mother of pearl. So you have this wonderful cap that ensures a seamless and upscale transition between those. So taking a look, you can see that we have these large blued steel hands, and then we have a flying tourbillon that features a blued steel seconds hand, because it is a 1-minute flying tourbillon. If you're not familiar with 1-minute flying tourbillons or flying tourbillons in general, they are designed to remove the upper bridge that would obstruct your easy viewing and enjoyment of the mechanism. So this one, which is the shape of a Celtic cross, an important symbol for Roger Dubuis, it is a 3 hertz, so 6 beats per second, 1-minute cycle, flying tourbillon. The seconds hand is blued by heat. The remainder of it is beautifully polished with a diamond paste to create black polish, such that from all but one angle, the metal looks black. It's been beveled internally, that is inside the hollows of the Celtic cross, and also externally, so polished on its top, beveled on its inside and outside, all screw heads black polished. And then we turn it all over, and we see that RD motif repeating again. You can see it's made in Switzerland, Geneva hallmark movement finish. All of this water resistant to 30 meters. We have the caliber RD03, or maybe by this time it was going by the name RD540. Same movement, manual wind, 60-hour power reserve, 3 hertz. It has the Geneva hallmark, and it is finished to that exacting standard of aesthetic and technical excellence. It has the power reserve indicator on the front. It all pivots on 30 joules. And it actually has a blocker, so during the nighttime danger zone, you can't easily set the date. So it's a very smart mechanism. And again, manual wind with a 60-hour power reserve. This movement right down to the balance wheel and the hairspring constructed in-house by Roger Dubuis. If you love this watch, reach out to me. I am T. Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.